Okay, so there have been network challenges. So please, if this is the first video you're watching, there's a previous video that I sent. Please watch that one before watching this one. This is the second part of the video. All right, so let's continue. Let's continue. So this is the Autocad interface. I just created a new Autocad. So let me quickly show you how you can adjust the settings in the Autocad. Yes, you can see here you have options. You have file, you have display, open and save, plot and publish, system, user interface, drafting, 3D modeling, selection, profiles, and so on and so forth. So now if you look here, you see the crosshairs, there are so many things you can adjust here. Well, let me just tell the ones that which I consider important. Something called crosshair. Now look at this. You can see this cursor. You can see that it is going through the whole screen. The line in the center touches every part of the screen. It crosses into every part of the screen. It crosses, to every part of the screen. So you need to, so it's crosshairs. So now if I now reduce it to, let's say, like 25, see what will happen. I'll click apply, click OK. You can see it is short now. Those lines are short. Do you understand? But me, I prefer making it to be 100 so that at every point in time, it will be able to cross the screen completely. That's the way I like it. But you can decide to adjust your own otherwise if you so wish. Yes. Now, when you are using AutoCAD, in order for another system with a lower version to be able to open it, you need to come and change this file under open and save. Under file save, you click on save as. You put it on 2000 because I don't think anybody will be using anything less than 2000. If you're using 2022, somebody who has 2020 will not be able to open the file saved in 2022. But the person who has 2022 will be able to open the file that was saved in 2020. So a lower version of AutoCAD cannot open a higher version, but a higher version can open a lower version. So in order to, prevent, I'm sharing file with you, I cannot open it, just come here and save it. Another way is when you click on save, it will tell you, it will bring out the save document dialog. Under there, you cannot change. Well, I'll show it to you. I'll show you. You cannot change it to this, but me, I prefer this so that once I save, it saves to 2000 straight. So when I share file with anybody, they will be able to open it without any issues, right? So you can come under user preference. You can change it to millimeter from inches or whatever, depending on what the default says. All right. This is auto snap marker and several other things. So when you click on an object, there's something called the auto snap. This is a place where you can just increase the size to large and small. And yes, this is viewport. Many of these things, by the time we see physically, I'll be able to explain more if if you people don't understand this one very well. But I just want to bridge the gap so that we'll be able to do the assignments we have, this Friday and Saturday. All right. So That's that. So now, if you look here, there are so many icons here. This is line, polyline, circle, arc, and so on and so forth. You can move object, you can see it right there, right? You can copy object, you can stretch, you can rotate, you can mirror, you can scale, you can trim, you can fillet, you can array. Now, the difference between line and polyline is that a polyline, when you draw several objects, which are most likely to be in form of lines, a polyline brings a connection between all of them, but line does not necessarily have to do that. Now, one of the easiest way to learn AutoCAD is this. If I put my cursor on any icon and just leave it there, just drop it and leave it there, it would, can you see what just happened? You saw what just happened. Create straight line segment. With line, you can create a series of contiguous line segments. Each segment is a line object that can be edited separately. That's what I just said now. So you don't need to click, just put the cursor on it. It will drop down and tell you what it does. Now let's look at what it will say for polyline. Polyline creates a 2D polyline. A 2D polyline is a connected sequence of segments created as a single planar object. You can create straight line, arc segment, or a combination of two. So all these lines, for example, in this one, are connected. So you cannot edit them separately until you do something called explode. Do you understand? So very, very important. Let me give you an example. Let me create this. You can see I clicked on line, right? And I created a triangle. Now see, if I highlight this, only it will be highlighted. If I highlight it, only it will be highlighted. If I highlight it, only it will be highlighted, right? Now let me click on polyline. You see, I click on this, click on this, click on this, and click on this, right? Now, if I just highlight one, everything will be highlighted. So this one is created with a polyline, while this one is created with an ordinary line. That's the difference between line and polyline. All right. Now, if you also noticed, now, there are two ways you can highlight, or let me say 3 ways. You can click directly on the object like this. You can say this cursor is directly on the object, you click it. It's directly on the object, you click it. It's directly on the object, you click it. It's directly on this object, you click it, and it highlights it. Once it turns blue, and you can see these rectangles, these blue rectangles on it, know that line is highlighted. If you want to remove it, then you will press escape. Press escape to remove it. You click, you press escape. Another way to highlight is this. You can see this one is a blue line. It's a blue line. Even though it passes through this line, it will not highlight it. But because I moved from right to left, it creates a blue line without broken lines, right? Can you see? It's just straight line in a box, right? From right to left. Now, see what will happen when I move from left to right. And you see it is green and the lines are broken. This simply means that any line that this box touches, it will highlight it. Can you see? Whereas for the other one, for it to highlight, it has to cover the entire length of that line, like this. It has to cover the entire length. You can see it cover the entire length. Even though it touches the other two, it doesn't cover the entire length. It will not highlight it. But the one from left to right to left would highlight, even if it touches it, a bit. So that is very important, Yes. So, so let me highlight this and delete it. You can just press, when you highlight it like that, you can just press delete on your keyboard. It will delete it. Now, one of the first things we need to learn is how to create layers. How to create layers. So now, what is layer? Layer is a way to have different objects or different lines meaning different things. Such that you can have the ability to edit all of them in a particular layer all at once without really having to do it individually. Assuming you drew 100 lines and all those 100 lines are in one layer, you can just give one single command. Everything in that layer would be adjusted to follow suit just because they are in the same layer. Do you understand? Now, this is, if you look here now, you see there are layers here. This is the layer, menu, right? This is the layer menu. So this is where, we do everything concerning layers. If you see now, the layer is on 0. But we need to create more layers. Very, very important. We need to create more layers. Now, for example, let's say you are designing an engine, for example. Let's just assume you are designing an engine. Let's say you decide to have, moving parts and non-moving parts, for example. You can decide to put all the moving parts in one layer, and you can decide to put the non-moving parts in another layer. Let's say you gave the moving parts a particular color, red, and later you said, oh, no, I don't want to give you red color, I want to give you blue color. So you can just go to the layer, adjust the color in the layer, and all those ones, even if it's 1 million lines you drew, it will change everything. Instead of you to do it one by one by one, which will take, a lot of time. Do you understand? So now, let's click on layer properties. Okay, so this is the layer properties here. Yeah, it's already created. Now, this is what new layer. This is how to create new layer. This is how to freeze layer and viewport. This is how to delete layer. You can see I'm putting the cursor on it, and it's showing me what it's all about. All right. So let me create a new layer. Just click on this. Can you see? It will say layer 1. Let me call it line 1. Now, I don't want it to be black color. I want it to be blue. I'll click under color. I'll click on it and I'll click on blue color. I'll say, okay, I want the line type to be continuous line. So that one is okay. I want the line width to be thick. You see, I want it to be 0.7 and all that. And that's it. So I can adjust anything I want to adjust at this point. So let me create another layer. Call it line 2, for example. This one, and I want it to be dark green. I'll click here. I'll do that. I want the thickness to be 0.13. I'll click on it. Okay. You can adjust anything you want to adjust here. Now, take note that any layer, as I've created these new layers now, see that it has appeared here. Can you see? Can you see line 1? Can you see line 2? I've created a new layer, so they automatically appeared here. Now, any layer that is showing on this place here is the default layer. So any new line you draw will appear in that layer, whether you intend to put it in that layer or not. Layers, like I said, are very important because they help you to be able to edit, objects and lines without much stress and without taking so much time. All right, so let me click this and put it on line 2. Is the current layer now. You can see, right? Is the current layer now. So anything I draw now, anything I draw now, and you see it is green in color. And you see, and it's having the property of line 2. Let's click on line 1. Is line 1, right? You can see it is currently there now, right? Now, let me draw another line. You can see it is blue. You see? But you can see there is something here. This one is supposed to be 0.7. So you can see it is supposed to be thick line, the blue line. So there is something here called line width. Can you see this icon here? Line width. Can you see? Show or hide line width. If your line width is not showing, you know what you do? Look at the 3 dashes on the extreme bottom corner, right bottom corner of your screen, and click on it. And make sure line width. You can see line width, right? Line width, make sure it is checked. You can see a tick in front of it. And you tick it. So when I click, can you see? When I click on line, when I switch on line width, it is tick now. When I switch it off, you can see. All right? Yes. Now, AutoCAD can help you to be able to get some things precisely. First of all, how do I create a line? I've already showed you line. You just could do this, click on line, and it becomes, you begin to draw your lines, even if you want to draw a table. What you are doing with AutoCAD is basically what you do with your pencil or paper every day. You want to draw an engine, you want to draw anything. When you use your pen, use your pencil, is lines you are drawing, right? It's lines that you are drawing. So it's the same way that it applies here. It's the same way that it applies here. So, but this time around, you are using computer to draw lines. All right? You're using computer to draw lines. So, so that is the way it is. So, now there is something called, what do you call it now? Auto. Look at this icon here. Restrict cursor orthogonally. Now you can see this auto mode is not on. The ones that are blue are on. Now, because it's not on, that is why I can draw these rectangles or triangles like this. So when I put it on, when I now draw my line, can you see? Even if I move the cursor to the left, it's either vertical or horizontal. It doesn't go to the side like this. It doesn't go to this. Can you see? Because auto mode is off. All right. When I on it, it either goes vertical or horizontal. So I can decide to do this, and that. Can you see? So auto mode being on, as you can see, is also here. Auto mode, yeah, auto mode is on, so it's here. So it's on, so that's where you can create something like that. So now, let's say I want to draw a line. Yes, sorry, there's something called object snap. You also need to know about that too. Object snap. Look at this icon here. Look at this icon here. If, let's say I want to create something now, look at this. I want to draw, can you see these icons, these little icons that are here? Can you see endpoint? Can you see midpoint? Can you see midpoint, right? Can you see endpoint? These are object snaps. It helps you to be able to grab a line accurately. So object snap is very, very important, because if you don't know how to use it, it can mess your work up. But if you know how to use it, it will be your friend. So you go to, you click on this arrow here, click snap settings, click object snap. The ones I usually like clicking that will not contradict or interfere with others: endpoint, midpoint, center, intersection, extension, perpendicular, nearest. From my experience, if you click the others, they can contradict each other at some point. So you can, if you are confused about some things, you just go back, rewind, and re-listen to some things I said earlier. You understand? So object snap, very, very important. All right. So now, let's do this. At the end of this assignment, please make sure that every assignment you submit is inside title panel. Make sure it's inside title panel. Borderline, title panel, your full name, your matric number, the course, your lecturer's name, the year, or whatever the case may be. So now let's do this. Click on line. I want to draw A3 is what? A3 is 420. 420. I want to draw A3 size. A3 size 420. 420. 297. 420. 297. Now this is my A3 sheet, right? Now there's something called offset. Look at offset here. Look at this item. It's called offset. Now this is my A3 sheet. I want to draw title panel. What is the border line? You people usually use 10, right? So I'm going to offset it from the line. Please listen attentively. If, as you're watching this video, be trying it immediately, or else you might not get it. If you want to, you can finish watching the video the first time. Then as I'm saying this thing, you'll be trying it alongside. You understand? So, but it's not something that's so difficult. Autocad is not so difficult. You understand? So what I want to do is now, I want to offset. Now, if you want to learn AutoCAD, how to use AutoCAD very well, let your eye not be far from this command line. Let your eye not be far from this command line. Very, very important. This is what type a command, right? This is the command. Because it will give you instruction of what next to do. It will always, look at this place. It will always give you instruction on what next to do and what to type. So let your eye not be far from that. So I want to offset. So I will click on offset. What would this say? Offset, specify offset distance or true. So the default is true. That's why it's written here. So I want to offset 10. So you click on the object you want to offset. You offset 10 inside, 10 inside, 10 inside, 10 inside. Now there's something called trim. There's something called trim. So I want to trim off. You can see that we don't need this one. We don't need this one. We don't need this one. All right. We don't need this one. We don't need this one. We don't need it. So we want to trim it off. And you will trim something up across an edge. If something does not cut across, it will not trim. It has to cut across for you to trim off wherever you want to trim. So you click on what? There are two icons here, trim and extend. Trim and extend are opposite. So you click on trim, it will tell you what? Trim, cutting edge, crossing mode, project, erase. So you click trim, press enter, sorry. You click on trim. Yeah, just once. Yeah, you click on trim, press enter. then you can see it's already trimming. It's already trimming. It's already trimming. Just trim off this one, trim off, and you press escape. When you want to release it, you either press, let's say trim now. You either press right click and press enter, or cancel, or you press escape to remove it. Now I want to input the title panel. So I will say, now every of these icons have shortcuts. All of them have shortcuts. The shortcut for line is L. The shortcut for offset is O. So I press O, enter. It will tell me specify the width, the offset distance, which is, I want to make it 50. So I want to make this one 50. Can you see? So I will now create where I will put my details. Can you see? So I want to also do this like this. Let's say 50. How 50 is okay. No, 50 is not okay. Let's make it 120. Okay. Let's make it 120. Let's make it 120. So I'll now do this. I will now click. You can see my title panel is showing off. Now, next thing I want to do, is I want to edit text. So this is text here. Can you see multi-line text? I'll click on it. Single line text, anyone you want to use. I want to use single line text. What this is, specify start point of text or justify style. So I'll click. Name. Can you see name? Yes. So now this name, it seems to be too large, right? It seems to be too large. So if you want to edit the name, click on it, highlight it. You can see this blue line. You can just do this. This blue line will show you. Now right click and click edit. It will now edit it. It will now make you to be able to edit it. Name. And you not type any other thing you want to type. Now, if you want to move, you highlight what you want to move. Look at move here. Move. Copy. So I want to click on move. I'll move it. It says specify base point. You click on it. And can you see it's only moving left, right, up and down. If I don't want that, I just click on auto. Then it can move anywhere you want to move. So I'll click on this. Then I want to reduce the size. There's something called scale. Look at scale here. So I've clicked on the object, I click on scale. It says specify base point. This is my base point here. I'll click on it. Specify scale factor or copy reference. I want to reduce this thing by 10. So what is 10%? 0.1. Enter. Can you see it has reduced? It has reduced the size. If it's still not small enough for you, if it's still not small enough, you can still reduce it further. Highlight. You've highlighted it, right? You click on scale. When you click on scale, it says specify base point. You specify base point. If you want to increase by 2, type 2, enter. If you want to increase by 3, type 3, enter. But if you want to reduce by any factor, I want to reduce it by 0.7 now. Just type 0.7. It has reduced. And you can still click highlight it and edit. You cannot type your name, whatever you want to type. Now, if you don't want to start creating a new, one every single time, you can just highlight it, say copy, copy, specify base point or displacement. You will now click on that thing you want to copy that you have highlighted. You click, and you see it has copied everything. Then I can now decide, okay, I want to edit this one to matrix number. So I will edit this. So I'll click on this. I'll click on right click, then I'll edit. So I'll now say matrix number. Can you see? You cannot type whatever you want to type. You can do that for all. All right. So this is the format. This is the format. You can just create one and you can be reusing it. I will still teach you how to use paper space. But I think what I've taught you today, at least, is enough for you to be able to do some assignments and all that. So I just ask you to create some objects. I'll ask you to create some objects. I don't think it's something that will be so difficult for you to do at this time. All right. So God bless you. See you very soon. Thank you.